Hello everyone, I'm Supra. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about my top 3 Tom Ford fragrances. So Tom Ford is my favorite fragrance house is because how intriguing their fragrances are. I mean, every time I go to try a new fragrance, I'm always having this kind of presumption how that fragrance could smell like. And usually with Tom Ford, what happens is it completely shocks me. Shocks me in a nice way. Uh, it gives me these kind of scent profiles which I would have never thought that particular fragrance could give, and then I tend to start liking them because I guess they have very heavy notes in the anchorage, which kind of goes to my liking. So I believe that's what it kind of you know uh, pulls me towards Tom Ford fragrances. Uh, in all honesty, I am a fanboy of Tom Ford. Like Tom Ford as a designer, he's quite flamboyant. He's brought back Gucci into the business in the late '90s. Then he started his own brand. He's a perfectionist. He has directed movies, and he's a diligent person. So he's kind of maybe he's not the nose behind the perfumes, but he's commissioned them. And same goes with his fragrances. They are just perfect in my opinion. And most of them, of course, not all, but most of the fragrances I've tried of Tom Ford, they have a story to tell. And this is what is beautiful about this particular fragrance house. So without further ado, I would like to talk about position 3 in my list of Tom Ford fragrances. Would go to Bois de Jour. So this is a fougere kind of a fragrance. So I googled it. Fougere means fan in French, and these kind of fragrances have kind of a lavender opening. People usually relate it to a fresh barbershop kind of a fragrance. I see where it's coming from. It has a very kind of a citrusy, as well as the classic Tom Ford Woody Accords in the base. But it's very easy to wear this particular fragrance. In my skin, it sits around 7 to 8 hours. Has a fairly good sillage as well. It would go in all occasions, like formal, informal. I would say it's a very easy to wear fragrance. You could wear it in summer. Summer is going to be beautiful because of the citrusy notes to it. But as well in the fall or winters, I think this would be quite a win. So here it is, one of the most dynamic, or let's say a most easy to wear fragrances I have worn and owned is Bois de Jour. Now for position 2, I would like to place Eau de Soleil Blanc. So this is a typical summer fragrance. Oh yeah, it's very bright. So it has kind of a very floral opening, very bright floral opening. But I would say it's kind of a complex fragrance. Bois de Jour, it's more on a simpler side in terms it's not very complex. It's rather linear, but this Eau de Soleil Blanc is it's very complex. So it opens floral. As it sits on your skin, it develops. So it develops to turning into the creamy coconutty kind of a smell, and has a certain heaviness to it as well. So it's a very interesting fragrance. I doubt that there would be people who would be disliking this. Many people say it smells like an expensive sunscreen lotion. Maybe I could kind of relate to what where they're coming from, but I wouldn't want to go in that route. I mean, okay, at least it has the connotation of being expensive, so that means that speaks for itself. So it has kind of a classiness to it, but this is a beautiful fragrance. I mean, it's fresh at the same time. It has kind of a certain heaviness to it, and then it's complex. It's kind of evolving on your skin. This sits, I would say, around 5 to 6 hours. If I spray it on my clothes, definitely it sits longer. Has a fair amount of sillage. I like wearing it during summers. I believe this goes fairly okay in fall as well, but I see it more like a summer fragrance. Okay, now position one would be, man, this fragrance has really blown me away. It's Ebene Fume. Oof. This fragrance is crazy. I mean, this is beautiful. I have this liking towards woody fragrances, and I think this is why this fragrance does charm to me. I mean, I smelled it the first time, I just kind of fell in love with this fragrance. It, uh, it's all wood. It's like super heavy wood, incensey kind of a smell. It opens as a Palo Santo wood smell, if you're familiar what Palo Santo smells like. To me, it's even more than that. It has certain accords of sandalwood, and it even reminds me of hinoki. So hinoki is a Japanese cypress, which smells very incensey. I believe the incensey notes here kind of remind me of hinoki as well, which is one of my favorite fragrances, to be honest. And this is what kind of pulls me to this particular fragrance is it's so woody, heavy, it's complex. It almost gives this feeling of zen. You know, like how you would feel if you were to go to a church or a temple, like the smell of these incense sticks and the wood burning, and it's exactly that. I mean, it's beautiful, has this kind of feeling of zen, and it sits really long on your skin. I mean, for me, it really sits like the whole day, like maybe 9 to 10 hours. And if I put it on my clothes, it stays for maybe 1 or 2 days, to be honest. Very heavy fragrance, but it's beautiful. I would kind of say that this falls more in the fall to winter category, but I have worn this in summers as well. It has not been cloying. Um, yeah, that said, I mean, there's another fragrance which I like from Tom Ford, which is Oud Wood, which is a very, let's say, mass pleasing and light fragrance. But after I tried Ebene Fume, Oud Wood has no chance, to be honest. I mean, this has just kind of swept me off my feet. And yeah, so I think I give this, and I believe this is my favorite fragrance from Tom Ford. Now, there's another fragrance from Tom Ford which I'm not including in this list, but it's very well received by everyone. Um it's Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I want to talk about this fragrance is just because I was thinking of including this in the list, but I could not pull anyone out from the three which I've already spoken about. But I wanted to give this like a special appearance, if I may. Yeah, this perfume has uh, a very sweet opening, but at the same time it has certain woodiness to it, and people say it smells like kulfi. So kulfi is an Indian dessert, and I have grown up eating kulfi because I'm Indian, but I don't see any similarity to kulfi, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, my fellow Indians could comment what do they feel about Noir Extreme. Do you think this smells like kulfi? To me, it doesn't. Yeah, but I mean, with all due respect, maybe it's the smell of the saffron, and it has like a kind of a gourmand, this kind of a desserty kind of uh, smell to it, and which is why I believe people relate this to kulfi. But this is a beautiful fragrance. This is more like I would say it would be more like a nighttime fragrance. In the daytime, I've worn it. It's too heavy on my skin on the day. I kind of rather like something which is more light, citrusy, which is easy to wear. This one is more on the heavier side, so I would prefer wearing this on in more in the evenings, and maybe more in the direction of autumn to winter than summers. But hey, if you can carry it in the summers, please do. But yeah, that's my opinion about Tom Ford Noir Extreme. So yeah, so these are my top three plus one. So let's say top four fragrances by Tom Ford. What do you think about this list? Do you think I should have added, or let's say, do you think you have another fragrance which could kind of belong into these top three fragrances of Tom Ford, or do you go in sync with what I have to say about the top three Tom Ford fragrances? Do let me know in the comments. Bye for now.